APIs are often crafted by backend developers who serve up a clean relational model for us to consume. But here's the thing, assembling data from these APIs can sometimes feel like trying to solve a puzzle, especially when you're trying to piece together data from different sources for that perfect view. But don't worry, ReferenceAdmin has got our back with its mighty reference components. So let's dive right in and see these reference components in action. My test application exposes orders and customers. Each order is related to one customer. That's a many-to-one relationship. In the list of orders, I showcase the customer's name right here, but order records don't expose a customer name. Instead, each order has a customer ID. So how do I display the name? Let's see the code. The customer list uses a regular data grid, and for the customer column, it uses a ReferenceField component. And this component fetches and renders the customer linked to each order. ReferenceField requires a reference prop, which is the resource of the related record, here it's customers, and a source prop, which must be the foreign key to the related resource, here it's customer ID. And there's quite a bit of magic here. The reference field component doesn't actually fetch customers one by one. That would be inefficient and not very civil for the underlying API. No, it's smarter than that. It gathers all the customer IDs, removes any duplicates, and fetches everyone in a single efficient get many requests. ReferenceField even handles loading state. It may show a spinner when the request takes too long. And finally, ReferenceField uses the record representation of the customer, so it's easy to customize the customer name. But what if the customer's name is not enough? What if you want to display a custom component here? Well, ReferenceField creates a record context for the reference component here, the customer component that it fetches. That means you can use any field component as a child of ReferenceField. And for instance, here I have built a customer name field, which will read the record context to grab the customer avatar, first name and last name. And I can use this component here, customer name, as a child of ReferenceField. And now the customer column shows the avatar with the customer first and last name. Now, flipping the script, let's talk about showcasing a customer's orders. Here, if I click on a customer and I go to the orders tab, I see their orders. There is a one-to-many relationship between customers and orders. So I cannot use the reference field anymore. Instead, I will use, let's see, so we are in the customer show view. Let's see this orders tab here. It uses another field called ReferenceManyField. And ReferenceManyField will require a reference to the resource of the related record. Here it's orders. And the target field in the orders table carrying the foreign key. Here it's customer ID. This field will call dataProvider.getManyReference to fetch the related orders. And once the orders are fetched, the ReferenceManyField puts them in a list context, so I can use any list component as a child of ReferenceManyField. Here I'm using a data grid. I can also add more children like filters or pagination to build a more sophisticated UI. APIs may use an alternative way of representing a one-to-many relationship. Here customers have many groups. One customer has many groups. But it's not represented by a foreign key in the group table. Instead, the API includes an array of foreign keys to groups in the customer table. Let's see that in the return from the API. So for each customer, the API returns an array of groups, and group is a foreign resource here. So how do I display this list of groups here? So it's the groups column in the customers list. So I go to customers list, and the groups column is a reference array field. It works like ReferenceManyField, except you need to specify the field that contains the array of foreign keys in the source prop. It also creates a list context, so you can use any list component as a child. By default, it uses a single field list to represent the group names as chips. And there are more reference fields for one-to-one relationships, for many-to-many relationships, but this is for another video. And if you want to allow users to edit a relationship, well, each field has an input counterpart. So for instance, the reference input allows users to edit a many-to-one relationship. As always, I will link to the source code for this demo and the component documentation in the description below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.